Right, so I'm looking at the picture, and the individual is Dr. Jean Bailey, the main host for Flashpoint on Victory News. And as you can see the picture, or as you have seen the picture, said Ukraine dash Russia military head to head. And the information is like a comparison, and it has Ukraine on one side, Russia on one side. So the information says Ukraine 200, 200 and 209,000 active personnel, Russia 900,000 active personnel. Ukraine 900,000 reserve personnel, Russia 200 million reserve personnel. Ukraine 1,818 artillery, Russia 4,684. Ukraine 622 armed personnel carriers, Russia 6,100 armed personnel carriers. Ukraine 858 tanks, Russia 2,840 tanks. Ukraine 35 attack helicopters, Russia 394 helicopters. Ukraine 125 active Air Force planes, Russia 1,000 active Air Force planes. And after Dr. Jean Bailey read this, what he was emphasizing or showing is that regarding what you're seeing in the news, regarding what you're hearing on the media, we are just hearing what the media representatives want and desire us to hear. We are just seeing what the media broadcasters desire us to see. When you're listening to media representatives, you have been gifted by the Lord Jesus Christ. And this is global, to have a means of seeing where our individuals' objective, as they have said, and current objectivity. Right now, you have from 2020, January 1st, to today is March 9th, 2022. And you can go back and see the media personalities and representatives. You will have to go to different websites and different sources to see, and you can look who has been reporting and telling you regarding the 2020 election in the United States, who has been reporting the fraud, who reported that there were specific complications with George Floyd, different things that had relating factors to the end result regarding George Floyd. Not a good result. And the police officer had a part to play. But who was reporting, and then even now, who has brought information to give you another form of understanding? Regarding COVID-19, what news sources and radio broadcasters have given you what other scientists have said, who are giving information that is backed by Pfizer's own clinical studies, that is backed by what the CDC is saying. And another form of measuring is, who are those broadcasters and those media representatives who were and have been telling you. One moment.
Where has Dr. Fauci gone?
The Moderna is on emergency use authorization. The Pfizer is an emergency use authorization. And the J&J is an emergency use authorization.
All of a sudden, the fame-addicted vaccine dictator has disappeared. Could it have something to do with the 55,000-page set of documents recently released by the FDA's Center for Biologics Evaluation and Research, revealing to the public the data Pfizer submitted to the FDA from its clinical trials in support of a COVID-19 vaccine license? A big blow to the New World Order pandemic after U.S. District Judge Mark T. Pittmans denied the request from the FDA to suppress the data for the next 75 years, which the agency claimed was necessary, in part because of its limited resources.
I have frequently said, we're going to lead with the science. Science is going to be the foundation of everything we do. That is entirely true. I think public heard that as science is foolproof. Science is black and white. Science is immediate and we get the answer and then we, make the decision based on the answer. And the truth is science is gray. And science is not always immediate, and sometimes it takes months and years to actually find out the answer. But you have to make, decisions in a pandemic before you have that answer.
A 38-page report included in the documents features an appendix titled "List of Adverse Events of Special Interest," listing 1,291 different adverse events following vaccination. The list includes acute kidney injury, acute flaccid myelitis, anti-sperm antibody positive, brainstem embolism, brainstem thrombosis, cardiac arrest, cardiac failure, cardiogenic shock, death neonatal, deep vein thrombosis, encephalitis brainstem, front lobe epilepsy, pneumonia, stillbirth, tachycardia, temporal lobe epilepsy, and vertebral artery thrombosis among the 1,291 medical conditions following vaccination.
It seems to indicate a break in the veil that may allow legal action basically due to fraud and concealment of these risks from the general public. This is why you have not been able to have full informed consent, is they've hidden all this information from you, and they've used all of the propaganda and censorship tools, which you're about to cover, and paid media to keep all this information from you and spin it so that you think that the left is the right and the up and the down is the up and the moon is made of green cheese.
I'm an epidemiologist, and people have asked me, Dr. McCullough, are the vaccines actually causing the deaths? The epidemiological construct that we have to go through is called the Bradford Hill tenets of causality. So the first question is it a large signal? Is it a large epidemiologic signal? And I tell you, it's astronomical. All the vaccines combined in the United States per year, it's no more than 150 deaths, not temporally related. Here we're at over 21,000 deaths. So clearly it's a massive signal, number one. Number two, is there a dangerous mechanism of action? The answer is yes. Frankly, we know the vaccines have a dangerous mechanism of action. They install production of the spike protein. The spike protein is what makes the respiratory infection lethal. And it follows that in some people, excessive production of the spike protein in a vulnerable person would be lethal after a vaccine. The third criteria is it internally consistent? Are there other conditions that are now acknowledged that they themselves could be fatal? And the answer is sure. With myocarditis, our FDA agrees, all the regulatory experts agree that the vaccines cause myocarditis. Can it be fatal? Yes. Have there been fatal cases published? Yes. There's over 1,000 peer-reviewed papers published on fatal and non-fatal outcomes. So that criteria is met. It is beyond any shadow of a doubt that the vaccines are causing large numbers of deaths. It's unequivocal. It is unassailable. Mm-hmm. Those conclusions, and I'm a card-carrying epidemiologist, I'm telling you, the vaccines are causing large numbers of deaths.
Maybe Dr. Fauci can crawl out of his hole and explain when he knew about the massive list of injuries that he had hoped would only be released long after he was gone. John Bound reporting.